Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Baseball Diaries. This is our midweek wrap-up so far episode of this first full week of baseball. We are 7 days into the season, and we've got a lot of news and notes to cover. ALNL, hot or not. So just for news to start off with, we have already seen a no-hitter this year. Ronel Blanco, I believe his name was Ronel Blanco. Ronel. Okay. Yeah. See, that's the thing. I don't think any of us even knew he was on the Astros pitching staff until it happened.
No one did. I mean, he's a 32-year-old guy or 30-year-old guy.
I think he broke into the league at like 28 and just hadn't ever had a full season. And
he's mostly a reliever. The only reason he's in the rotation right now is because they're waiting for Justin Verlander and the rest of Luis Garcia. All those guys come back.
Jeez.
And yeah, they're waiting. I mean, the thing is that the Astros starting rotation, they're waiting on like 5 guys.
Yeah.
So they didn't expect him to make a start. He made a start and may as well be making, or might be making several more. I mean, if he continues, and what was crazy about that start was I was watching it, and yeah, that's the crazy part is I was watching it. No,
that is part of it.
Yeah, no, it was the crazy thing about it was the announcers and everyone was talking about he didn't really throw his changeup very often prior to that start, and he was throwing his changeup very consistently, and it was a nasty pitch. Like, it was a very good pitch. So I don't know, maybe he just didn't trust it before when he was coming out of the bullpen, and now that he's a starter, he was like, you know what, I can trust it. But
it's a credit to the catcher.
Yeah, if that's
Yainer?
Yainer. Yep.
Yeah.
Who's been hitting the cover off the ball.
Yeah, it's a credit to Yainer. Good for him.
Yeah, Yainer's been crushing it. So I mean that's honestly all we can talk about with the no is
that he is just a big shock.
Cool. Yeah,
awesome, big shock. Good. And
good to see this early in the season.
Yeah, and a lot of people who throw no-nos, you're just kind of like, I would have never guessed that to happen, and it happens.
I mean, even with perfect games, that happens.
Yeah.
I mean, we were just talking about him.
We have discussed that one at length.
Yeah. We were just talking about Dallas Braden's perfect game.
Yeah.
And love the guy to death. Love him as an announcer. But just say average starting pitcher.
He's a fun guy, though.
He is. He's awesome. Like, he's
super fun dude.
Yeah.
So after that, the A's owner announced that they will be moving to Sacramento from the 2025 season through 2027 before before the anticipated move to Las Vegas in 2028. As with most of the baseball community at this point, I think we all feel that John Fisher is terrible for the game,
Satan.
And I think we've made that very clear. I mean, his quote today was absolutely obscene. I can't wait to see Aaron Judge and like the other top stars in the MLB here hitting home runs. And it's just like, yeah, I can't wait to see teams smoking the team that I own. So exciting. Yeah. It's like, dude, we know you're not going to invest your money, but what are you saying? Like, you're just embarrassing.
Not only are you saying that we're not going to invest money, they're also saying that we're not even going to try to win. Like, they've been not investing money for decades at this point. But now you're not only saying that, but you're saying that we're just not even going to try to win. Like, we don't care about winning. And that's just brutal for baseball. And it was already bad enough that they weren't investing in a team that was good just in a very foreseeable past. Like, it wasn't that long ago that the Oakland A's were in the playoffs every single year.
Yeah.
And they would not invest in the team. They traded away everybody like they always do. And now they're just saying, we're not even going to try to win. We don't care about winning.
I feel horrible for the fans of Oakland. Because, I mean, I know, like, my family wasn't exactly... They were never really Athletics fans because they weren't here when the Philadelphia Athletics existed. So they were always Phillies fans. But I was like, I know there were a lot of people from Philadelphia that still kept up with the A's because it's like that was the original ball club here at one point before the Phillies were founded. And it's like, you know, the Phillies have been Philadelphia's team for forever. So someone I follow on Twitter suggested taking John Fisher's ownership away and moving them to North Philadelphia and having the Philadelphia Athletics. And I was like, having a second team in Philadelphia would result in probably
Civil
crimes.
War.
It would result in crimes that would make World War II look like a kindergarten birthday party.
Yeah, there would be a mass genocide of one of the fan groups in that area.
And we already know who's winning that one.
Yeah,
we've had enough.
You guys could not have a second team there. That would literally result in genocide. It would be the Gaza Palestine thing going on right now. Like, that's exactly what would be happening in Philly. Like, people from Israel would fly over Philly and they'd be like, "Where is that? Can we help those people?" And it would just be Philly melting down. Like, it would be awful. Like,
the city's on the verge of melting after even 6 games, and at the same time, I understand why, because it's super frustrating. But I'm like, you can't have a second team here. No. You can't divide the loyalty. And I mean, the thing is, you wouldn't be dividing loyalty, but anyone that decides to identify with the new team just because it's fun, it's like you're going to be severely injured.
You're going to be hung, is what you're going to be. They're going to bring back lynchings for that. They will bring back lynchings just for Philadelphia Athletics fans. Yeah, it'll just be, oh, you have that on your front porch, and there'd be people standing out on the front yard with pitchforks and freaking Molotov cocktails ready to throw through their window.
Yeah, exactly.
And Harper would be leading the charge.
Harper would be leading the charge. Yeah, no, it'd be absolutely the hell not. You're not bringing a second team to my city.
No.
But and even with that, just the fact that Fisher's forcing a move to Sacramento and clearly predicating his entire move just on his own greed. Talking about the other stars he wants to be in this tiny ballpark that has one batting cage, no bullpen restrooms, and terrible facilities, and you thought the Coliseum was bad because they haven't upgraded that forever because Fisher doesn't care. It's and this is a billionaire. And it's I've never understood this because you have polar opposites in terms of ownership now on a team that used to be cheap as hell, the Baltimore Orioles. And we've already talked about how their new owner is super exciting and super good for baseball. And you have Fisher, who somehow hasn't been kicked out. It astounds me. And moving to Sac Town is heartbreaking for Oakland fans because they don't deserve that.
It's awful. And this is it's such a, for me, I'm in such a juxtaposition feeling right now because on one hand, I'm originally from Las Vegas. I've been wanting a baseball team in Las Vegas since I was a child. Ever since I was a kid, I've always thought well, why don't we have a team in Las Vegas? The old excuse was always that it's a transient city. People don't stay there. People are coming in for a few days and they're leaving out. But in my lifetime, it has grown from being the city that people just visit a weekend to where it's a city of 2 million people at this point. It is a large city. Yeah. So them getting a baseball team was huge. They should not be getting the Oakland A's. Oakland A's, they should be staying in Oakland. They shouldn't be moving, period.
They shouldn't be moving, period. Again, John Fisher should not be an owner. He should not be an owner. He doesn't care about the product on the field, and that's very clear. And the fact that Manfred hasn't tried to initiate a removal for him is just, it's a crime.
It is.
Because, it's one thing for owners to care more about making money than the team, which Fisher clearly cares way more about money than the team in general.
Of course.
But he's putting out a purposefully awful product, and their farm system sucks too. There is no bright future for this team.
I mean,
and people think that him moving to Las Vegas is going to change that. No, he is a greedy person. He is not going to change how he spends money with the team.
No.
He's just going to be in a new city thinking it's going to make him more money. That's the only reason he's moving. It's not because he wants the team to be in a more competitive market. That's it. He just wants more money. That's the only reason he's moving.
100%. And it's beyond, not only is it just greed, it's not only just greed, but it's they're slapping the entire fan base in the face.
It's disrespectful as hell.
And the thing is that I think it's going to end up being a huge flop. I really do, because while I think getting a team in Las Vegas would be huge, I don't think bringing the Oakland A's to Las Vegas does anything. I think that's a terrible idea.
I think it leaves a sour taste in everyone's mouth.
I agree, and I don't know what fans are going to come over
because I think the best way I've ever seen a team, an expansion team, be done in modern history has been the Las Vegas Golden Knights.
100%.
Their Twitter account's annoying as hell. I will say that.
But also their pre-show or pre-game performances. Good God, are they cringy?
Yes. However, the way the city took to them, like you said, it's grown to like a 2 million person city. The way the city took to them, because they can identify that as their own. Like, it's theirs, and it's only ever been theirs.
Exactly.
And I think that's what Las Vegas would need as a baseball 100%. City.
And if you look at even the contrast with the way they're handling the Oakland Raiders, I know some people there who are converted now Raider fans, but like it's not really how that not a lot of it didn't. We didn't Las Vegas did not gravitate towards the Raiders like
because
they
it's
did.
Not their own.
Exactly, it's not their team. It's the Oakland Raiders. At the end of the day, like everyone always remember them as the Oakland. Exactly. And if they move the Oakland Athletics from Oakland, it's going to be the same thing. And then not only that, but if John Fisher doesn't want to spend money, guess what? Nobody's going to go to those games. If they're going to suck, nobody's going to go to those games.
And that's why I don't understand anyone at all being like. John Boy put out one of the worst tweets I think I've seen regarding the situation earlier today. Not John Boy Media, but John Boy himself.
Oh, okay.
And he said that, like, them playing in that stadium is actually... He's looking forward to it because he'd love to sit out in the grass and watch the games.
I saw that.
And he was like, why should I be miserable when you are? And I'm like, where is your empathy?
Yeah, like, it's... I mean, if you go back... If you listen to the Baseball is Dead episode today, and
it's heartbreaking.
Your heart didn't drop at the end when Dallas was basically fighting tears, and that's what... The thing is, that's not just him that's feeling that. If you go back 10 years ago when the Oakland A's were good, those guys were selling out the stadium. Like, it was not an empty ballpark like it is now. Like,
it's
it was
the Balfour Rage.
Fan base.
The Balfour Rage. Everyone should remember that. That was exciting as hell.
It was electric. I mean, and that's not that long ago. It's not like that's not 100 years ago. No, that's literally, it's within my memory. Like,
yeah.
Which I'm not that old.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
And I will never understand it because, like, anyone that's excited about a Fisher-owned team going anywhere, it's like you clearly either are just being ignorant or you just have no idea what the ownership has done with the Oakland Athletics, who were a previously very successful team. And he has completely ruined them, and he will not make them better. That's who he is. It's who he always will be. He's talking about other teams smoking home run balls against his pitching staff, which sucks.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't.
I'm at a loss of words. So they like to talk about how like they're a small market team, whatever, and how the owners whatever can't afford whatever.
Which is a lie.
Take a guess. 2024, John Fisher's net worth.
I don't think he's worth more than Middleton, so I'm going to go like $2.5 billion.
Close. $3.2 billion.
Okay, because I know Middleton's worth close to $5, so I figured he wasn't worth more than that. But I was also
to put it more into comparison. David Rubenstein, the new owner of the Baltimore Orioles, $3.9 million. Bill DeWitt, the owner of the St. Louis Cardinals, $4 billion net worth. That's not a far stretch. At all.
Like, the thing is, a lot of baseball ownership is around that $3.5 to $4.5 billion mark as an owner. So this guy isn't out of...
No.
He's not out of the, like, oh my God, he's so broke. He's not.
No.
The only, like, super wealthy guy...
Steve Cohen.
Is Steve Cohen. Like, Steve Cohen's worth an ungodly amount of money.
Yeah. Steve Cohen's the only one where he's the only owner and they're worth a ton of money. I mean, the Dodgers have an ownership group that's worth a ton of money.
But that's a group. That's a collective.
Yeah, exactly. And same with the Baltimore Orioles at this point. Like, they're a group also. Like,
But the Baltimore Orioles are turning into how a team should be run.
Exactly.
Which, like,
it's
there are
polar
a few
opposites.
teams. there are a few teams that you can say that that's how they should be run. The Phillies became that recently.
Yeah.
Like, the Orioles are becoming that. As much as I hate the Braves are what you want. Like,
honestly,
as an ownership group.
I know you hate to hear it. You're going to hate hearing this at all.
They're one of the smartest organizations in baseball.
Yes, they are. The fact is that they keep bringing up these rookies. They become phenoms, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, we're going to sign you to a fair deal, but we're also definitely winning that deal. Like, we're 100% winning."
Like, the Acuna deal is daylight robbery at this point.
Yeah, at this point, that Acuna deal, they basically held them up at gunpoint. It's brutal.
If he had the benefit of foresight, he would have never signed that. But
no.
Now it's too late.
But even the Spencer Strider deal. I mean, the Spencer Strider deal, steal.
Yeah, and the one thing I will say, NL Central, you can have the Braves. We'll take the Pirates back. Just geographically speaking, it makes sense.
No. No.
Braves, you can win 400,000 divisions straight.
That's true. That's 100% true. Yeah, they would dominate. Yeah. Oh my God. What? Could you imagine now, over under how many wins would they have in the NL Central? I'm going 116. Yeah.
It's like, go 130.
Yeah, they would, oh my God. Imagine them playing half of their games against the Cubs, or I shouldn't say half, but a lot of their games against the Cubs, the Cardinals, the Brewers, and the Reds.
They'd set records for offense that would never be broken.
Oh my God. Even who would you say has the best pitching staff in the NL Central? The Cubs? Yeah, I guess. Cubs are
maybe right now.
Yeah. I guess. Well, it's tough to say. Okay. Regardless, I'll just say it's a hosh-posh between the Cubs, the Brewers, the Reds for best rotation baseball. I left the Cardinals out for obvious reasons. And guess what? All three of those ballparks are very hitter-friendly ballparks.
You put the Braves there, that record they set last year, it's going to get blown out of the water.
Yeah, it wouldn't even be close.
The funny thing is, geographically, it does make sense.
It does, but I don't want it to happen.
The Pirates are more east, so...
Yeah, they are.
I'm gonna start a petition for that. Actually,
I'm gonna have a motion against that. I will put everything in my power to never have that happen. I would lose my mind if the second that happened. I'd be like, well, I guess we're not making the playoffs for the next decade. Because guess what? The wild card team is not coming out of that division. Especially when they lost 100. They lost 42 games to the freaking Braves alone.
Yeah. That would be hysterical. I would love to see it. It probably will never happen until we actually get an expansion team going on. Because I do think that this is completely off topic because the next thing we're talking about. But I think that Nashville's going to get a team, and I think they're going to reshape. I think they're going to reshape the divisions.
NL South, something like that.
Yeah, I think there's going to be an NL South, which they're going to have to put the Braves in. But
yeah.
I think
you can dream.
I can dream, and because I do think that Nashville's going to get a team, and I also think that I think the other team is going to be Salt Lake City. Salt Lake City is apparently pretty high. Jeff Passan was just on Green Light. He was saying Salt Lake City is apparently very high.
No, I don't think it's. But also Portland's kind of making a move towards that also.
I think Portland's a tougher market for the expansion because the Mariners are there. They're still there.
Yeah.
So I do think that it would be, in terms of who gets the expansions first, it would be 1A is Nashville.
Yeah.
1B is Salt Lake City. And then after that, you have the rest of the competition.
Yeah.
And it's whoever pitches best.
You know what? Bring a team back to Montreal. We need another Montreal team.
Yeah, give the Quebecois a team.
We need it. I want it. I want the Montreal Expos.
They already have a name. You can have the Expos back.
Exactly. I want that. I would love that.
I think that baseball will eventually get up to more teams. I think it'll start at 32, but I think it'll probably end up at 36 or something like that at some point.
Well, I honestly think in our lifetime, and I'm not saying soon. I'm saying when we're 70 years old and we're still doing this podcast and still nobody's listening. And I think at that point there will be a there will be like Japanese teams that are making the transition. It'll be like it'll be an actual World Series, not just the United States and Canada. Like, and I think like the first one I think to do it would be Japan because their market is so large. Yeah. And then not only that, but their teams are just as solid. They're just as solid as the United States teams. Yeah. Like they're not. They used to say that they were the AAA to the MLB. No, they're not. No, if anything showed the WBC, they're just as good.
Yeah. Okay, so wrapping up news. A's tragic. That all stemmed from them, like our little mini tirade there.
Yeah. I can go on and on about that tirade.
We could go on and on. We could probably dedicate an entire an entire episode on to reasons you should hate John Fisher. Yuri Perez is getting Tommy John. The Marlins are 0-8. Shout out to the St. Louis Cardinals. I
we're not losing today with Lance Lynn on the mound.
Yeah, it's before the game started.
It's Lynn's sanity, baby.
Because I know a few Cardinals fans, and I texted one Sean. I said, "Don't let us down today. You gotta keep the Marlins winless." And he was like, "I have a 30 rack of Busch Light in my fridge." I was like, "Oh my god!"
If he had a 30 rack. By the time that the Cardinals retook the lead, he was probably 23 down.
He probably was. Because, I mean, look, a 5-run 7th inning just absolutely jumped all over Sixto Sanchez.
Yeah.
However, I will say he did get let down by shoddy defense. Berger made a really nice play on what Arenado should have had a double, but Berger made a really nice play on the ball. So it stopped it, and I mean, he wasn't going to turn 2, but he could have got the lead runner if he didn't drop a ball. Luis Arias continues to be a terrible defensive second baseman.
True.
Completely punted a weak-ish ground ball to him from Goldschmidt, which led to the big inning, and the Cardinals made it pay, and it was huge. Like, I mean, Mason Wynn hit a triple, Nolan Gorman hit a double, and Nolan Gorman put on the stealing mitt, and I was like, this is Polar Bear in Arlington, Texas. Yeah, this guy is never stealing a base.
He's not stealing. He's, I can tell you, he's not going. Like,
you know the Flint Lockwood run, like from Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs with the police officer. Yeah, that was what he looked like running to third, and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah,
he's not
pretty
fast.
Factually accurate. No, he's not. He's a power hitter for a reason.
Yeah, and I mean, look, it worked out. You guys pitched clean innings from then on and continue to beat the Marlins. And just keep doing that, and you won't have to worry about anything. Steven Matz will throw a gem.
Yeah. I mean, hey.
That's your ace right now.
Board. Yeah, he's definitely our ace. He is definitely our ace.
Yeah.
And he might, until Sonny Gray gets back.
Yeah. But yeah, that Marlins team is bad. Really bad.
When you guys fired Kim Inge, I didn't know that you guys were just going to suck. Like,
I didn't realize that was the direct consequence. However, it does make sense.
It does. It does make sense. But, man, talk about a fall from grace. Because last year they made the playoffs. They were a solid team. And then this year, they're just bad. Like, there's
bad in every facet of the game.
Everything. Hitting, pitching. Literally the only 2 spots in that lineup that can do anything are, well, I guess 3. Jake Berger, Luis Arias, and Jazz Chisholm. That's it.
And even Chisholm's 2 hits Chisholm today were bunts.
Yeah.
They were bunts. Yeah. It's like the guy, like, he has power numbers to speak of, but they are just not there right now.
I mean, the fact that he was on the cover of MLB The Show last year, mind-boggling.
He's easily the worst cover athlete the show has ever had.
Easily. And that's including this year's Vlad Guerrero Jr., who had under an 800 OPS last year.
At least Vlad had an MVP season.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's a brutal one.
I hate it. But after that, I guess we'll get into our AL and NL teams. So, Mariners, offense is still terrible. We, as a podcast, might have cursed the pitching staff.
Yeah, we're going to send out we have sent out an apology on Twitter.
Yeah.
But just, if you're a Mariners fan, and I have a friend who is, I'm sorry, we have cursed your pitching staff. We've cursed them.
Because I know Castillo got rocked around too, And I even like said that on our last pod. I was like, man, your Cy Young pick's looking weak. And then Kirby got rocked like bad.
Yeah.
Like
what was it?
and
8 earned.
I think
it was 8 earned.
I think all 8 were earned. I don't know if they committed any. They might have committed one fielding error because I know Polanco and Crawford collided on a ground ball up the middle during one of them. So, but I think it was still all 8 earned. But his fastball velo was down. And it's like, yes, I know it was cold and everything, and fastball velo is typically down to start the season. So like, I'm not worried about that generally. But I mean, he's normally throwing 98, 99. He was throwing 92.
Yeah, him throwing 92 is concerning. I mean,
because I remember the second I saw that ball leave his hand and it registered 92, I was like, he just threw a fastball in 92. What the hell is going on? It was so concerning. And I think a big part of that was also his confidence was down. He was getting rocked. Like,
of course.
So, Mariners pitching staff, we are so sorry.
Yeah, specifically to Luis Castillo and George Kirby. We shouldn't. I'm sorry that we picked you to win Cy Young this year because it's not looking good.
To be fair, we didn't think that would possibly be the consequences of our actions.
True. We did not think that we would absolutely curse you.
Yeah. Your AL team has been had a nice bounce back from the Yankees series.
I mean, they were terrible in the Yankees series. Yeah. And I mean, they threw the no. I mean, Ronel threw the no-no. Ronel threw the no-no, which was big. But the biggest comeback for them was the fact that their hitters, showed up. They still only have 2 wins, so I wouldn't say they're. Yeah, your dong was swinging that dong everywhere. Like he was mashing last night. 2 home runs and a double, I believe. But I mean, the lineup is back. Jake Myers has over an 800 OPS right now. I mean, the lowest OPS on the team are Alex Bregman and Jose Altuve. Which Jose Altuve, please pick it up because you're on my fantasy team. But I mean, if those are your 2 guys that you're worried about picking it up,
they're going.
Everyone else is they're going to pick it up. Everyone else everyone else is going to come back down to earth at one point, other than maybe Kyle Tucker, because
Kyle Tucker never comes back down to earth. Yeah, most consistent player in baseball.
Well, I mean, he's got a 1 dot right now, which is high for him. But if he finished the season like that, I wouldn't be insane. I wouldn't
be shocked, but I'd be more around the 9.25 is probably what I'd expect from him.
I'd sit somewhere between like you said, or I would sit 9 to 9.50 is where I would think. But somewhere in there.
I picked right in between that, so perfect. We have all the bases covered.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, unintended. I wouldn't be worried about that if I'm the Astros.
The one thing that I would be worried about though is the bullpen. That bullpen was supposed to be
shaky.
Shaky is an understatement.
I was being nice.
Yeah. Not only that, it's not like he's just getting unlucky because his FIP is a 4.55, his ERA plus is a 59.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah. He's 4 innings pitched, 3 earned runs, 4 hits. That's not good.
Like the bomb he gave up.
I think he froze on me. That is a hilarious frozen picture. So I'm going to leave this up, and I'm not going to edit this out, and I'm going to take a picture of this to make fun of him. But anyways, I'll keep continuing on my rant about the bullpen for the Houston Astros. With the Houston Astros, they also got, the only bright spot right now looks to be Rafael Montero, but other than that, Ryan Presley's got a 7.71 ERA. Brian Abreu has an 11.57, and their FIPs don't make up for it. Ryan Presley, 7.58 FIP. Brian Abreu, 14.44 FIP.
Wait, did you say 14?
14.
Holy. Oh,
his 11 ERA is he's pitching worse than his 11 ERA.
That's insane. I did see one thing. I don't remember who he left this ball over the plate to. I think it might have been Soto, but the catcher, Yainer, set up way outside, and the ball went 2 feet inside. Like he was like, there's missing your spot, and then there's like you have no idea where the ball's going.
Yeah.
And I saw that, and I was like, holy hell! Look at where the catcher's set.
Was that Brian Abreu?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
it was terrible.
That tracks because his whip right now 2.571 in 2 1/3 innings pitched. He's given up 4 hits, walked 2, and 2 home runs. Like, there's concerns with that bullpen, which we did not see coming. We both predicted them to have a really good bullpen. What we did not predict for them was their pitching staff is looking disgusting. Framber Valdez, 2.19.
We flipped the issues, apparently.
Yep. Apparently our preseason picks we're just not good. Like,
okay, it's early returns.
It is early.
It's very early.
It is early. But other than my Juan Soto MVP pick, that one's panning out.
No, that one's definitely panning out. Changed the entire dynamic of the Yankees team.
Yeah. Literally, they went from being what we thought was going to be the seller of the division. Well, not the seller, but close.
We didn't pick them to be good. I had them finishing third, which was...
Oh, I had them in fourth.
You had him in fourth. I had him finishing third.
Yeah, and then not only did Framber Valdez, he's looking like old Framber. Then Christian Javier is dialing it up too. He's in 2 starts, 11 innings pitched, 9 strikeouts. That's good, really good. So their FIPs show that they might. I mean, obviously they're going to regress a little bit.
Yeah, there's always. Because I think pitching is the one thing, especially starting pitching, is the one thing that always regresses to the mean.
Of course.
There's absolutely no way that Aaron Nola is going to go through the entire season with a 12.46 ERA.
We never know. If that happens, you'll end up on TV somewhere.
Oh, I'll be on the news.
Yeah. It might just be your feet hanging, but you'll be on the news.
I'll be on the news.
You'll be dressed up like a piñata.
Yeah. But realistically, track records of pitchers tend to carry more weight than anything else. And at this point,
especially starting pitchers, usually they're throughout a season, unless they're injured. Usually, if there's injury, there's a bug there. That's why, for example, the Walker Buehler thing. 2 years ago, I drafted Walker Buehler to my fantasy team because he's Walker freaking Buehler.
Reputation is a big thing.
He started off the season bad, and I'm like, there's something there. And then sure enough, it's TJ. Like, that's how that usually goes.
Yeah. But yeah, moving on to my NL team, I guess that's where the next logical tracking point is. So Phillies start slow again. Shocker. Offense hasn't been clicking. It's just like Bryce went nuclear because it's Bryce Harper.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen. Wheeler's been really good, so I'm still loving my Cy Young pick. He's got a .75 ERA and is 0-1. So but just it's the same story. They're starting slow. Turner and Castellanos have looked shaky at the plate, and I mean, given it could have been the fact that the conditions in most of our games have been terrible, but like cold, rain in like the last 3 games, it's been cold and rainy and just ugly. But you gotta play with the hand you're dealt, and it's just the same story as slow start, and it sucks. However, it's what I should have expected, and kind of what I did expect, but maybe not to the same degree. And I mean, I do expect them to still be very good this season, but it's just super frustrating that I'm tasting metal 6 games into the season. So don't love that.
Oh, bad news! Breaking bad news.
Oh God.
It's not you're okay. You're not going to be tasting metal.
Oh, thank God.
No, It's neither of our teams.
Okay.
But it is bad. Well, we did both pick this team to win the AL Central. Tigers finally lost their first game.
Oh, I did see the end of that. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, they had a no-no going through 6. Yeah.
Not bad.
Well, it did involve Polar Bear hitting a pitch that he had no right hitting out. It was like I think it was a splitter that was literally about to kiss home plate that he somehow hit to the opposite field.
I mean,
well,
it's the Polar Bear.
He did hit it pull side, actually. My bad.
It's the polar bear. As big as he is, like if he gets a hold of something, he's gonna do well.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a big, strong guy.
Contract year polar bear, gonna go nuts.
Yep. Oh yeah, he gonna get paid.
Yeah. But your Cardinals.
Yeah, my Cardinals are cardinaling, is what they're doing. They are they're 3-4. I mean, to be fair, 4 of those games were against the Dodgers, which is that's what's the Dodgers. What do you expect? Another 2 of those games were against the I'm sorry, 3 of those games were against the Padres, and then today we just played the Marlins. Thankfully, we beat the Marlins. Otherwise, I'd be tasting metal today. I did smash a few fingers with a.
You had the hammer, the jack, and the revolver.
Oh, it was out.
It was all out.
It was ready. It was ready. But nobody beats Lance Lynn. Not Linsanity. Yeah. No. I was jokingly texting Brendan before, like, how do we give up 4 runs to the Marlins? And then next text was, I know the answer to this, but I know it's the fact that we have a 39-year-old guy who can't throw over 93 miles an hour on the mound. At least it's not Wainwright, but still.
I responded before he said that. Do you want an honest answer?
Yeah.
And got the all caps rage response that I expected. I mean, and the thing is that seventh inning rally was huge. Like,
thankfully,
everyone
saved my life.
Yeah, it did save his life. He's only here with us because he was going to be on the news for another reason.
If we broke the Marlins losing streak on the first game, oh my god.
Yeah, that would have been terrible.
And we don't play tomorrow, so we're good.
Bobby Witt Jr. just fumbled the ball, loaded the bases up. Yeah,
that's not good.
Bases loaded for Yoan Moncada.
Also, why do I not have that game on right now?
One down.
I can't do that because if I do that, it's going to be noisy. Anyways, you keep me updated on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Cardinals are cardinaling. They're right around 500, just like I thought. The issues with the Cardinals actually have been exactly what they were last year. Quite literally. The starting pitching, not good. Steven Matz, okay. Zach Thompson, bad. Miles Michaelis, bad. Kyle Gibson, shockingly good. But I don't see that panning out. Lance Lynn is the ace right now with a 0 ERA still. Oh no, I'm sorry. He gave up 4 today. This is not updated. Regardless, pitching is just it's not been good. And actually, Ryan Helsley has he got a save today. Looked really good today, but overall
he did look really good today.
Little shaky. I love the addition of Andrew Kittredge. He's been a great setup guy. Absolutely incredible at setup right now.
JoJo was really good in the 8th today.
JoJo was great today in the 8th. And he's a good setup guy in general. He was a great setup guy for us last year too. But like the lineup is doing what they did last year, and it's concerning me. I mean,
I do like that you guys are giving your young guys a bigger opportunity because I'd rather or if I'm a Cardinals fan, I'd rather see Victor Scott playing than Dylan Carlson.
Yes, I agree. Completely agree. Because Dylan Carlson has not proven himself. He's been in the league for so many years. And honestly, I wish we would. My perfect scenario, what I was calling for heavily last year, was we traded Dylan Carlson and Tyler O'Neill in the same package and get some freaking pitching, is what I want.
That would have been perfect.
Exactly. That would have been exactly what we needed. Because guess what? We have a billion outfielders. Every single player that we have plays outfield. And all of them are about the same level of good. We're gonna get Lars Nootbaar back. He's good. But it's like nobody's a superstar in the outfield.
Lars Nootbaar will make your outfield a lot stronger.
Significantly stronger.
Because I have no idea who the hell you guys had hitting 9th. He made a really nice catch in the first inning, but I have no idea who the hell that guy was.
Michael Sani is not good.
He's young. He's 24. He made a really nice catch, but he couldn't hit the ball for lack of a better term, jack shit. So
he couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat.
Kind of like Johan Rojas right now.
Looking at his entire career, he couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat. His literally highest OPS between Double A and Triple A for a little bit was a 750 OPS. Which, if you're going to play amazing center field, okay, we can live with that. But it better be Harrison Bader center. In that case, we might as well have kept Harrison Bader.
Yeah.
Like, quite honestly. Yeah, the lineup is worrying me. The one who's really worrying me and concerning me to death is Nolan Arenado.
Yeah,
I don't know if he's injured.
That earlier. Yeah.
He looks injured to me.
He looks hurt.
And Nolan Arenado to me is a guy who, unless a trainer tells him you cannot play today, he's gonna play today.
Yeah, he's not gonna sit.
Gonna play. No, he's not gonna sit
unless you force him to sit.
Exactly. So I think that's a concern of mine, and
that has to be.
If that's the case, Nolan, get healthy. We need you. Like, we need you.
It's better for him to be healthy and play, like, maybe, say he sits down for a third of the season. That 2/3 of a healthy Nolan Arenado is much better than a hobbled Arenado for the whole year.
Yeah, or a hobbled Arenado for 2/3 of the year because he's just trying to work it out. And it's like that. We need him to get healthy. And I'm not accusing him of being hurt, but if I had to guess,
that would be what I would guess too.
Yeah, if I had to take a guess, because today he had a 3-0 count, watches a fastball by Ryan Weathers down the middle, which I'm like, okay, I get it, 3-0. 3-1 gets a middle fastball, which should not have landed. Healthy Nolan Arenado, that ball doesn't land. And and Ryan Weathers blew it right by him. And I was like, that's concerning.
Yeah,
and then
a healthy Nolan Arenado takes that to the arch.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and then the next pitch, Ryan Weathers goes slightly more in on the hands, but it's still a healthy Nolan Arenado turns on that. And he ended up getting a double on it, but it wasn't well hit. It was not. It should have been. It honestly probably should have been caught. But that's not the Nolan Arenado that we got originally. Like, that's not the Nolan Arenado that 2 years ago was third on the MVP ballot. Like,
it's not the same guy right now.
No.
And I mean, it sucks because he's one of the best players and most exciting to watch when he's
100%.
healthy. By the way, they did get out of the bases loaded jam. Bobby Witt turned a solo double play. So,
Witzky.
Yeah, guy's nuts.
Love it.
Oh, Jesus, that's an obvious pick for our next segment.
I was just about to say, I put it on my list as you were talking. I was like, this is not a hot or not list without Bobby Witt Jr., who is on fire.
Absolute
Bobby
fire.
Witt is crushing the ball right now.
He hit a 440-foot home run 2 days ago?
Yeah.
I think it was 2 days ago. Crazy level of pop on that dude.
And from a shortstop. Love it. Love it.
So
leads the league in doubles, or actually leads MLB in doubles and triples already with only one, but still, one triple, 4 doubles, and leads the AL in total bases. So
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, he's got a 1.344 OPS right now.
That guy's
from a shortstop.
Absurd. He's so good. He's so good.
I mean, you saw him come into his own halfway through last year, and that's
he just
where
found himself.
Yeah, he found who the Bobby Witt Jr. because he came up and it was people were thinking it was another guy that's going to come up and just kind of not live up to their potential. A lot of people were considering him to be a flop a little bit, but got to remember how young he was when he came up. And if you look at his numbers after his first half numbers, 742 OPS. Second half numbers last year, 906 OPS. In July of last year, 979. August, 1.015. Like, the guy he's a stud.
He's wicked. He's up to bat right now against Soroka and just
so
scorched the ball.
Yeah.
He's going to. He shouldn't be going to because he's running on Luis Robert, but he just got 2 out of a normal single.
Dude, he's the definition of hot right now. Well,
yeah.
That or the obvious pick, which I obviously had to bring up because he's on my fantasy team, and then not only that, but you can't say anybody. Literally, you cannot say
he leads the MLB in like every category right now.
You can't say anybody else is hotter right now. He leads the MLB in batting average, home runs, RBIs, runs, on base percentage, slugging percentage, obviously OPS then, hits, actually not doubles, shockingly, because every ball that he hits just goes over the fence. Walks, yeah, he's Mookie Betts. Come on,
Mookie Betts.
Round of applause.
Yep. I hate the Dodgers, but
but you can't hate Mookie. First of all, like as much as I hate the Dodgers, I can't hate Mookie. He's
Mookie's just not a hateable dude. He's just such a likable guy.
Yeah, and I feel like this span of Mookie Betts being just the best player on earth right now for the last week and a half is kind of going unnoticed a little bit just because of how good he is consistently. It's like we said it before. Like he can do everything. Like he knows where Waldo is. Like I don't know what he can't do. I think if he were to go in the UFC right now, he could become a UFC fighter. Like I don't even know how.
He'd have to be featherweight, but
yeah, true. But I think he would, if you gave him enough time, he would be a champion. Like it's insane how talented he is. Yeah. And I'm not saying that to offend anybody in the UFC. I understand that that's a horrendous statement completely. But it's just part of the joke because if you watch this guy do any other sport, he is amazing. Like at everything. It's mind blowing.
Yeah. So for my hot, obviously I have Mookie as well. Again, Dodgers. But he's just too good right now. It makes no sense how well he's hitting the baseball, everything.
You can't slobber on Mookie enough today, or at this point.
Yeah. Okay, so Soroka's actually not pitching too terribly right now. I'll just make that known. He's not pitching terribly.
That is good to hear.
Yeah. But my other hot, it's actually a combo. It's the duo of Adley Rutschman and Gunnar Henderson. The two like twin Orioles.
The
absolute studs. Just
Baltimore, hire me. I look just like all of them.
But yeah, Adley, I still think they didn't play today, but as of last night, I don't think Adley has struck out. So
I shall look that up.
Adley's going nuts. The guy's always had a good eye, but I saw
an incredible eye.
Seeing that, I was like, he hasn't struck out yet. I know it's early, but that's a couple games there.
Well, it's crazy to me how much Adley. You're right. He has not struck out yet, and he's walked 4 times.
Dude's crazy.
The craziest thing to me was how much Adley coming up changed the Baltimore Orioles. Like they went from being good, but they were young, and then they added Adley Rutschman. And do you know how many times? Do you know how many times they got swept last year?
0.
1.
They got swept once. Oh,
by the Rangers.
That was the one sweep. I knew they had.
They've had. Not only that, but they. I believe that was the only sweep that they've had since Adley Rutschman has been on the team.
Yeah. That I remember.
That's a season and a half. It's swept at home. Swept at home. Let me preface that. That was swept at home. Still, insane. A full season and a half, and you don't sweep a team at home. And they're in the AL East. It's a tough division. It's absurd.
I'm gonna go to heating up before we go on to not.
I still got a couple hots.
Okay.
I got a few hots.
Heating up, Bryce. 3-homer game. That'll do it. Bryce and Jordan both in my heating up.
Yeah, I have him in my heating up as well. Swinging that Jordan. I know how that sounds. I'm gonna keep saying it because it's pretty.
I say Jordan all the time. Like it's just it's just second nature. Lou Bob probably could have gone in hot. He's been hitting the ball well.
That's true.
Like,
he has.
He's cooling down a little bit, but that's also like the nature of the Chicago White Sox. So
I mean, and also I feel like teams are gonna figure out, and they should be figuring out.
Don't pitch to him. Yeah. Pitch to everyone else.
Yeah, literally circle his name, put him on. Like, there's no point to throwing them. There's literally not a point.
Yeah. Who else you got for hot now?
Right, for hots, I got a few guys from the same team and a whole team. But the team the one team that I have is the Tigers because they were undefeated until today. Finally, they lost their first game to the Mets.
It was
today.
a doubleheader too. So
it was a doubleheader, and overall, that team has been performing. Like as a team, they're doing exactly what we called. Like
our AL Central pick, dude.
Our AL Central pick is panning out nicely because I mean, Mark Canha has been been hitting the cover off the ball for them. Kerry Carpenter hitting the cover off the ball.
Fantasy team guy. That. Yeah.
Colt Keith today hit a walk off. And he's not hitting well, but if they get him going, Carson Kelly's been hitting the ball well. Gio Urshela was a huge help to them.
Yeah, Gio Urshela was good today.
And even Torkelson's not hitting right now. So I mean, even with all those guys down, they went 5-0 to start the season.
I think Torkelson also struggled in the first game today. And I'll give you one guess at who was behind home plate in the first game.
In the first game?
Yeah. Guess who was the ump?
Oh, Angel. It was Angel.
Yep.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah. I saw that. Did you see the clip today of the foul ball that was off of, I think, Riley Green?
I think so, yeah.
No, I think it was Torkelson. No, or was it Torkelson?
I know Torkelson was, yelling at him at one point.
Yeah.
From, he was running down the first base line and he started yelling at Angel. I don't remember exactly what he said, but, he looked pissed off and I saw who was behind home plate and I was like, that makes a lot of sense.
Whatever he's saying right now, I'm on his side because it's Angel.
Yeah.
And then for my other hots, pretty much all from my AL team, Yainer Diaz, hot, 1.2 OPS. Jose Altuve, I said this earlier, and I meant to. You know what? There's two Jose's in this list, and they're one on top of the other. And I should have reread this and known that made no sense. That Jose Altuve had a 296 OPS. Jose Abreu has a 296 OPS. That checks out.
Yeah.
Jose Altuve has a 1.1. I was like, wait a minute, I thought he'd been crushing the ball. And that now it makes sense. Jeremy Pena. Jeremy Pena is. It looks like he's figuring it out. I mean, if he can hit well.
I think we both said that he was going to have a bounce back year because there's no way he could possibly be worse.
True.
So, I mean kind of expected, but I do think he cools down a little bit because there's no way he sustains it.
There's no way he has over 1 dot for the season. If he hits above an 8 dot or an 800 OPS, I'll be beyond happy. I think that's a very good. That's very good for him.
Yeah, because he's no Bobby Witt, but
no, he's no Bobby Witt. That's for sure. But he's still he's still good. I think he's more than a serviceable shortstop. I think he's better than average overall. I'll say.
Yeah.
Who I'm completely forgetting that we didn't. I cannot believe neither of us said this name. Shane Bieber. Hot.
Oh, so bad. So bad. Hot. Shane Bieber is so bad.
Oh my God. He has been dealing. Still got a 0 OPS, 12 innings pitched, 20 strikeouts in 12 innings pitched. 20. He is back to 2020 Shane Bieber. Are you
Thank
okay
God.
over there?
Bobby Witt just made the most nuts play. Dude, you gotta put this game on. This dude he's literally a human highlight reel.
He really is. And I love the fact that the Royals paid him. Hey, owner of the owner of the Oakland A's. I'm blanking on the name right now.
John Fisher.
John Fisher.
You
John
scumbag.
Fisher. See what the Royals just did? Do what they did. They're a small market team. They are just like you. They're never going to be that high on spending because they're also cheap as shit, I guess. I also don't think their owner is quite as rich.
I don't think their owner is quite as rich.
Yeah, but still, that's what you do. That's how you make a small market team.
You keep the talent you do have in the organization. You don't deal it.
Yes.
Especially if your talent's a potentially generational shortstop.
Exactly. It's absurd. So back to Shane Bieber. I'm going to keep blowing him for a little bit.
He's so back.
Yeah. So back, 12 innings pitched, 20 strikeouts, 10
0
hits,
dot, right?
one walk. One walk.
Zero ERA. Runs, right?
Zero ERA. 2 games started. His FIP right now. FIP. Take a guess.
You can't have negative FIP, right?
No, you can't have negative FIP. No.
I'm going to say it's sub 1. It has to be sub 1, right?
It is sub 1.
Is it sub 1. 0.51?
0.22. So even so he's not just getting lucky. he's dominating. Like, he is dealing right now.
I know. I think his slider has looked excellent in both the starts I've seen. It's looked
disgusting.
So good.
It's been gross. It looks like, and his fastball velo is back up to what it was in 2020. He's not back in the 89s that he was throwing last year. No, he's consistently 93. Like, yeah,
which is fine because his slider plays really well with that.
Yes,
because the tunneling on those pitches are crazy.
He did the same thing. In don't get me wrong. In 2020, when he won the Cy Young, he did hit the 95, 96 once in a while, which is why he went to drive line in this offseason to get some of that back.
Yeah,
and it looks like he did, and now he's striking out 15 strikeouts per 9. Like, he's back. Like, I cannot believe neither of us brought him up originally.
I am so happy that he is actually back. Good for him.
Yes, I love to see Shane Bieber. Yeah. Which also means he'll be on another team within the next 3 months.
Yeah, he's going to be on a pitching staff in the playoff race soon.
Hey, your Phillies could use that.
That we could. Could you imagine starting a top 4 of your rotation being Wheels, Bieber, Nola, Ranger?
That would be gross. See, that would make... Dude... I'm actually honestly loving that idea right now because I'm thinking now when the Braves and the Phillies, they're going to meet up. They have to.
Yeah.
If the baseball gods are real.
Every single episode, actually. Yeah.
We have to. Because if the baseball gods are real, they'll make this happen. And could you imagine Wheels versus, obviously it's going to be Wheels versus Strider. And then Bieber versus Fried. Oh my God.
Yeah.
If that happens, don't call me during those times because I will be ass naked with a bottle of lotion watching every single one of those starts. Like, I will not. There will not be any Kleenexes in my house. It'll be completely empty.
Completely empty.
I'll just look like that episode of South Park with Randy at the computer. That's gonna be me in my room. I
know what you mean.
Yeah. That's.
Yeah, it would be nasty. It would be one of the best pitch playoff series ever.
Yep. Yeah, that would be incredible. Okay. Now
any more hots, or are we going?
No, I'm good. I'm hot. I'm out of hots. I'm done being hot. I'm time for colds.
So, personal stake of bitterness. Every single Phillies right-handed hitter not named JT Realmuto right now is on my not hot list because they have just been bad. Like, it's been pitiful to watch. Like, the righties try and make any reasonable, like, let alone hard contact, just contact. Like, it's been bad. Turner's been struggling. Castellanos has looked very bad. I mean, so he's also made some misplays in the outfield, and he gave a reason that I'm actually not too upset with. He was talking about the new out-of-town scoreboard because they took down the old one at CBP, and they put up, like, this bright, like, new LED one. And the light looks so bright that I could understand why you would be like, oh my God, I'm going to run straight through the wall. It's so bright. I'm like, that's going to lead to misplays, especially at nighttime, because it's so damn bright. It's like, dude, just turn down the brightness on it, and it's fine. Because it is so damn bright. And I think, do I think they'll figure it out? Yes. But right now they're pissing me off, so they're on the not list. My other not, this is a large one, the entire Marlins team. Like I said earlier, there is not a single player on that starting lineup right now that was announced before the Cardinals game that had an OPS above 700 last year. So, like, think about that. None of them are hitting the ball well. That's it. The entire Marlins team, cold as hell. Not in a good way. No drip. Yeah. It's just they're terrible.
No, they're and I'll throw another team where I'm going to say the exact same thing, and we've already talked about it anyways. But on the not list, the Chicago White Sox, not. Literally not. Other than Lubob. Lubob has been who Lubob is. But other than
Lubob
him,
will not be on that team.
No,
either.
No,
he's gone.
He shouldn't be. He should not be on that team. On the White Sox, well, Yohan Moncada is actually hitting the ball. He's got an 824 OPS. And Sheets, who I've never heard of.
Oh, Gavin Sheets.
Sheets, yes. He's actually hitting the ball well. That's probably not going to sustain. Anyways, other than that, no. The White Sox, you're on the cold list for good.
Freezing.
Yeah, you're freezing cold. Now for my other cold list, I got a rookie. A rookie. Actually, I got 2 rookies, and I'm gonna hate to say one of them, just because I was so high on one of them that it's sad to see and sad to say. Evan Carter and Wyatt Langford,
Oh
both of
yeah,
you.
no.
Evan Carter especially. Evan Carter has not gotten a hit yet.
Yeah, I know. He's one of 2 qualified hitters without a hit right now.
Yeah, he has not gotten a hit
really
yet.
sad.
He's cold as cold can be. And also his at bats don't look good either. It's not like he's
it's like because he was so patient last year, and that's what led to him getting so many hits.
And we're losing him again. God, he needs better internet. He has the worst internet I've ever seen. Anyways, to continue talking about Evan Carter a little bit, he at least, he does lead the AL in walks right now, which is good. And his strikeout to walk is incredible right now. 2 strikeouts to 6 walks, which is good. So he will turn it around, probably. But it's just he's not making good contact really. He's getting a little unlucky, I will say. He's getting a little unlucky. But overall, he's cold right now. Cold as cold can be. Wyatt Langford, he's a little hotter, but not great. I had him as my AL Rookie of the Year pick, so seeing him with a 606 OPS right now, not hot, not doing that great. Love to see him pick it back up, and then lastly, again, reharping on the Mariners again with Luis Castillo.
Yeah.
Luis Castillo.
I got no idea
has given
what
up
that
the most hits. He's given up the most hits in baseball right now. And I'm sorry, in the American League right now. It's 16 hits and 10 innings pitched. His FIP does not look good either. 4.33 on the FIP. So he's pitching better than his ERA suggests, but not by much. He's got a 13.5 hits per 9 right now. The strikeouts per 9 is right there, but it's those hits. He's given up. Hits and his strikeouts and walks are literally consistent with his entire career, but he's just giving up hits right. Everybody's hitting him. It's not good. I don't know where that came from, but you got to figure it out because you're on the cold list right now, and we may have cursed you, but that cannot be your excuse. For that. That's not your excuse.
Yeah. No.
Again, on the not list, Bo Bichette is not right now. 390 OPS.
Yeah, he's just flailing. It looks like again.
Yeah. Honestly, I could say the entire. Actually, I'm gonna say it. The entire Blue Jays batting lineup, agree. Minus Justin Turner. Justin Turner is Justin Turner. He's
you also called that one too. So
yeah, Justin Turner's a stud, and I did say he is a guy. And every time people are like, "Oh, he's washed." I'm like, "You're insane. That guy does nothing but hit, is what he does." Yeah. His worst year, I think his OPS was like a 780. That's like his worst year. Like, what the hell? But
you know who I would put if I could put someone in a list lower than not, like 7th Circle of Hell type list, I would put Anthony Rendon there.
Yeah.
0 for 19 errors.
The fact is that we couldn't put him on the not list because he hasn't been on the hot list, and probably he hasn't been on the hot list since being an Angel.
I think he hasn't had a hit. I think I saw a stat today that said he hasn't actually had a hit in 3 years because he hasn't played in games or something like that. And it doesn't surprise me. He's missed an entire season multiple times.
Well, and then I don't think that's true, but I know the last time Anthony Rendon had a hit, literally Jay Hay put out a tweet. A baby could have been conceived and had by the time Anthony Rendon has had a hit.
He just
yeah.
It's like he doesn't and the thing is we know he doesn't care. Yeah. He said as much, but
I didn't realize how long he's been on the. Well, actually, his first year with the Angels was not terrible. Shockingly.
No, the first year doesn't shock me because it's like, it's first year in a new team. I gotta, at least look like I.
But after that, the decline is insane.
His fall off needs to be studied in a lab.
Yeah, because I don't think you could try to get this bad this quickly. He went from
abysmal.
In 2020, he had a 915 OPS, right?
Yeah.
which shortened season, whatever. Then 2021, 712 OPS. 2022, 706 OPS. 2023, 678 OPS. And
Is that
now
worse
this year,
than Joe Adell?
yes.
Jesus.
Yeah. And then just this last year, or this year right now, he's got a .050 OPS. He has been walked one time. That's the only thing on his batting average, or I'm sorry, not batting average, his on base percentage. Yeah.
I genuinely think I would walk more often than him right now. That's no, I wouldn't get a hit. Are you kidding?
No,
I wouldn't get a hit. But like the fact that the pitchers have no idea who I am, maybe they'd walk me just on accident.
I mean, I could take my contacts out right now, and I could still have a better chance of getting walked. I'd also have a good chance of getting disabled because I'd take a fastball to the face. But I'd rather do that than continue to see the Cardinals pitching staff.
Well, that's fair.
Yeah. But anyways, I wanted to talk a little bit about the Blue Jays overall, their lineup.
Not Alejandro Kirk.
Well. 226 OPS. Vlad Guerrero Jr., 700. Kevin Biggio, 686. Bo Bichette, I already said. IKF, 618. Dalton Varsho, 440. Even George Springer, 627. Like, they have one guy above 100 OPS plus, and that's Justin Turner.
That's so bad.
Yeah. So I don't know what they got going on over there, but they need to figure it out because their pitching staff has got it figured out. I mean, well, not really. I shouldn't say that. It's early in the season, so we don't really know.
There's obviously time. Like there's time for almost all of these teams except for like a select four that definitely aren't going to do anything.
True.
But for the Blue Jays are a team I would say it's getting late early. It looks
agreed.
like it looks like it's the same team as last year, just worse.
Yes, and that's the thing. Like you looked at 5 years ago, you looked at the Baby Jays, and it was like, man, what's this team going to look like in 5 years when Vlad Guerrero Jr. comes up and Kevin Biggio comes up and Bo Bichette comes up? It was like, wow, these Baby Jays are going to be something. And now it's like these Baby Jays are nothing. Like I shouldn't say nothing, but they're not.
They're technically still babies because they're not. They haven't grown up.
No, they're still the Baby Jays at this point, but they're not even babies anymore. They're getting older. Like Bo Bichette
getting old and not progressing.
26. Like they're getting worse. Like they're getting worse with age.
Yeah,
and that's just sad to see. I mean, Kevin Biggio, he's 29 right now. Like that's not young. Nobody's a spring chicken anymore. Which don't get me wrong, Kevin Biggio never. I mean, his upside was, his highest year yet, an 807 OPS in 2020, which is good, really good. But it's obviously not the threat of force. But still, if you think of a lineup, but just the names that the Blue Jays have, you would think they're a playoff contending team, and it's not looking like it right now.
Yeah. Also, I will put this one guy in my not just as like a follow up to all this. Elly De La Cruz is striking out almost 50% of his at bats.
Yeah. Yeah, you were already hypercritical of Elly De La Cruz, and I had my questions as well, and so many people are so high on him right now because they got a flash. There. Yes, you saw a flash of, in that short amount of time that he was in the MLB last year, he had 35 stolen bases.
Yeah.
That's insane. This year he's only got 2 so far, which I understand it's early, but last year in 2 games he had 4 stolen bases, it seemed like. It was like,
there was a time he stole second, third, and home in like a span of 30 seconds.
Yep. And it's just, he's definitely in the cold department. He's definitely in the knot right now. Does he figure it out? I have my concerns.
I wouldn't be shocked if he... I don't think he reduces his strikeout rate.
And he needs to. That's the issue.
I think... Because he's not going to walk. Like, the dude
you know what his strikeout
everything.
rate? You know what his strikeout rate is right now?
I want to say it's close to 50. I'm going to guess like 47.
You're almost on the dot. 48%. Then take a guess what his walk rate is.
Oh God, that's got to be like 1%.
4% walk rate.
Ugh.
That's not a good strike. I shouldn't say not a good. That is an abysmal strikeout to walk rate.
Yeah, that's terrible.
I mean,
especially for someone with that kind of speed,
mm-hmm.
you want him to be an OBP guy.
Yeah, chicks dig OBP. Like, come on, like that's
yeah.
It, yeah, I mean, and you hate to see it because as much as I hate it because he's in my division, I just want to see good baseball and good baseball players do things well. And he's good for the sport when he's doing well. I mean, the amount of people that have him on their fantasy team right now are it's in fact I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna look up on our.
He's probably close to like I
bet
would
he's
suspect,
like 80%.
I would suspect like 78, something like that.
Yeah, I would assume like 80% of people have him, and I don't think
because I don't think
it's even higher than that. It's way higher.
Don't tell me it's like 93.
93.8. 93.8% of people have him on their fantasy team right now. And there's a reason why I stayed away from
pure points. Maybe that's pure points leagues.
I think it's all leagues. I think that's just all leagues.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Guys.
Yeah.
Come on.
There's a reason why I stayed away from him.
Yeah.
Because he had an amazing month and a half last year. But that was a month and a half.
That's what it was.
If you look at his entire season was abysmal. 710 OPS for the season. That's abysmal. 144 strikeouts to 35 walks. Abysmal. Like in 388 at bats, struck out 144 times. You can't do that. Like
that's terrible.
That's not sustainable.
And, the thing is, he's a media darling.
Yeah.
But and that's fine. There's no problem with that. But like the second game against the Phillies, like he committed like 3 horrendous errors.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were terrible.
Yeah, and then on top of him being not good hitting, he's not playing good defense. So it's like if they had Matt McLain right now, he'd be in AAA.
He would be. If Matt McLain wasn't on the IL 60, he'd be in AAA.
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, that's where he needs to be. Because if you ask me, he's the definition of a guy who just needs more seasoning in the minor leagues. Because he's young. He's 22 years old. Last year, he put up a 1 dot in AAA. But he's got to figure it out. And
he's no Jackson Holiday.
No, exactly. He's got to figure it out in the minor leagues, and the main thing he needs to work on is just not striking out like this. I mean, the strikeout numbers are absurd. I mean, even in AAA, 158 at bats, 50 strikeouts last year.
Who the hell is their hitting coach, dude? He's that's bad.
Yeah,
he's telling him to just rip it and hope you make contact.
Yeah. And guess what? When you get to the major leagues, that doesn't play. Look at Javi Baez. Javi Baez is abysmal, and because of his strikeout rate was through the roof. And now, he's on a team, kind of, and he got paid
in a way.
Yeah, but it's like
it's only one of the worst contracts in Major League history.
Exactly. I mean, well, let's for example, I'm gonna look at how much Javi Baez is picked up in fantasy league. I'll bet you it's less than 2%. It should be 0.
It should be 0.
2.6%. Who picked him up? I don't know. It must have been a league with 42 people in it.
Oh, it had to be because that's terrible. I don't even think he's playing every day for him.
No, I don't think he is either. In fact, I was just looking at it. Yeah, he's not. He took off the last 2 games.
It's like having Patrick Corbin on your fantasy team.
Yeah. It's like having. That's like having Tom Brady on your baseball fantasy team. He's going to get you the same protection.
The Montreal Expo. Yeah, Montreal Expo. Montreal Expo, Tom Brady.
Yep. That's who I think of every time I think of the Montreal Expos.
Yeah, it's first thought, obviously.
Yeah.
Always goes to Tom Brady.
I think we've concluded. I think we've doled everybody down, and we've told everyone that they're cold now, and we've.
Yeah, I mean, I think that wraps
ended on
it
the
up.
depressing note. Yeah.
Yep.
The Royals are up 2-0. Mike Soroka still looks pretty good.
Mike Soroka's, if he stays in, I think he'll probably get a quality start out of this.
Yeah.
Gave up hard contact to someone I have never heard of on the Royals. So allowed a home run. I don't know how the first run was scored. I turned it on after it was already 1-0. But I mean, again, we know the White Sox are going to be terrible. This isn't shocking.
No.
This is a team the Royals should beat pretty handily. So,
yeah. All right.
You know.
Well, good episode, everybody. We shall catch y'all later. Follow us on Instagram at the Baseball Diaries, on Twitter at the BB Diaries, on YouTube at the Baseball Diaries Pod, and then on Spotify at the Baseball Diaries. And yeah, like, subscribe, share. There will be a clip. There will be an actual AI generated clip that goes on the reels this time. Last time, for some reason, it didn't make me a clip. So this time there will be. Otherwise, I'll find one because we have some funny moments in there.
Oh,
where I say that he's going to hang himself, which still could happen. That still could happen if the Phillies don't make the playoffs.
There will be blood in the streets.
All right. Bye, y'all. All right.